Let's go.
We're going?
Welcome back.
Did we go?
I
thought we were going.
We're going. We're going currently. Currently, we are going.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome back. Welcome to 2021. We're back in the full swing of things.
We are. It's a little throw.
Did a live broadcast on our other channel this morning.
Yeah,
we're here recording.
I forgot what to do.
Almost. I'm like,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Welcome to 2021.
Wow.
Here we are.
Here it is.
This is all you get.
World's still
turning. It's still horribly broken. But hey.
Hopefully.
We're all along for the ride and it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
And then I said something to you earlier, and it's been something that I've been like, every time I hear somebody say it, it makes me cringe, but I said it.
Oh. Okay.
Of when the world gets back to normal. It's been making me cringe, and I said it earlier about a rumor I'd heard when the world. So it wasn't. Hey, but it's still. It's been bothering me for like the last hour.
Little twinge or whatever in the back of the neck.
Because I don't think it's going to go back to normal.
Okay.
It's going to be what I think is it's going to be a mixture between like the world now and before. Like it's going to be a weird hybrid.
Sure. So let me drop some existential baggage on you real quick.
I'm just trying.
You start the year off by me smacking you across the face.
Wouldn't be the first time.
You're darn right, and it won't be the last. No, so this is a conversation that I was somehow having with my 9-year-old son.
Okay.
The future does not exist. The past does not exist. The only thing that really exists is what is happening right now. Worry about that.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
In that context, yes.
Right. Now you can make plans for the future.
Right. That's
you can reminisce, you can learn from the past, but they don't exist.
Yeah.
What exists is this right now. And you sad sacks are spinning it listening to this. But honestly.
Segue.
So, yeah, the future might not be what we thought it was going to be, but the future will be.
Right. And what I'm meaning it as is day-to-day life.
Right.
When things get back to normal. I don't think it's going to be...
what we used to consider
for quite some time.
Yeah.
Until it gets to be the new...
Don't you...
I know. I hate that too.
I'll pull out a gun and
Moving
shoot
along.
you right now. I'll shoot you where you sit.
I was like, the present right now, we're getting garbage blockbuster movies that were, I don't know, maybe not garbage, but just... Never mind. I'm not
even worth the hype. They weren't worth. Let's talk about it. Wonder Woman, ladies and gentlemen. Wonder Woman.
I'm still angry about it.
Why are you angry?
I'm angry about it.
What about it made you mad? Let's start there.
All right. It reminds me of the time, not counting Batman, but I'm just going to go off on my little Tim Burton thing.
Okay.
And the only thing it angers, made a very good Batman movie, right?
Yes, he did.
I'm
two of them.
Two good Batman movies, but after the fact, hearing him say, and it's not just him. There's been Marvel actors and stuff like that I've heard just like, I've never read a comic book in my life. Tim Burton gave that interview saying, he had never read a comic book, so he didn't. So I'm like, stop it. Then he tried to do like a Superman movie with Nicolas Cage as Superman, and it was reading the specifics of what that movie was going to be was absolute garbage, and
worse than Man of Steel?
Far worse.
Wow. Okay.
Far worse.
Worse than Dawn of Justice?
Worse.
Wow. Okay.
Let's just say he was going to have polar bear security guards that were going to travel with him, and it was just going to be...
You need some muscle from time to time when you're like invincible.
And the only reason I know that is just following Kevin Smith, who was penned to write it, and he ended up falling out because they wanted him to make a whole bunch of just ridiculous changes. And I think the funniest thing was he's like, they wanted him to, like in the third act or something, to fight a giant spider. Like, just for no, like, it'd be great if he could fight a giant spider. He goes, no. He goes, those producers went on to make a little movie called Wild Wild West.
They
And
got
if
their
you
giant-
remember in the
they got their
third,
giant thunder for
in
no
the third-
for no particular
for
reason.
no particular reason. So that's every time I think of that scene now, I go, that is why. But comic book, I feel that the writers of this got the summarized version of Wonder Woman and go, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and make a movie of this, but we need to throw some extra stuff in there. Like, it just annoys me when they give them superpowers they've never had before.
Right. And that's, I mean...
And it...
Well, look at... Let's take a look at Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Both big fans.
Right.
3 Spider-Men
Mm-hmm.
since the year 2000.
Yeah.
3 separate origin stories.
Similar but different.
But still
different.
Different origin stories
Right.
for all 3 of them.
I agree.
So, you know, remember when we said you have to take these as not as extensions of the comic books, but as new retellings of the stories of the characters?
Which is why I'm saying, like, listen, I'm not saying the movie is
as bad as some people are trying to say it
A lot
is.
of people are saying, listen, if it's on TV again at some point, I might watch it again. And all in all, the plot, people were attacking the plot. I thought it was okay.
It wasn't bad.
Bad guy was okay. Villain was okay.
Wasn't over.
Was the cheetah character had more?
Yeah,
A little more.
I was hoping for a little bit better from that character,
but I enjoyed it.
But kudos to them. So this is what I do like about a lot of the comic book movies, even those that have been relatively universally panned by both audiences and critics.
Right.
They're taking some of these lesser known, these second and third tier villains and introducing them to a new audience.
Right.
An audience that would never know who they really are.
Right.
If they weren't watching the movies.
Right. So that's
because even a casual comic book fan,
right.
You're not seeing a lot of the cheetah.
No. Unless you're like the last thing I had seen is like the Injustice game.
Yeah. Yeah, she was in the...
So you know that they have ties and stuff like that, but it's still...
But again, that was an entirely different story arc.
Like, huge main villain in the Wonder Woman...
movie. So they
yeah.
Well, in the
comics,
to the big leagues.
Yeah, in the comics, it's a big villain that continues to go on. So that's...
Yeah.
Without giving stuff away, it is free streaming on HBO Max.
And for the next... What's today? The 4th? So for the next 20 days.
Yes.
Yeah, today is the 4th. May the 4th.
It's not
May the 4th. It's
Stop
January 4th.
Get out of here.
It's January the 4th. It'll be free to watch on HBO Max.
Yeah. It's worth
through the 25th of or the 26th of January.
I will say that
they're doing a 31-day release
free
on it.
watch.
Yeah.
It is 100% worth a free watch.
But as with most DC movies, I was glad I didn't have to pay for it.
That's my thing. If I would have been in the theater, I probably would have been doing more griping because I know I'm trying not to spoil anything, but there's certain moments that I wanted to throw something. Like, I was just like, are you kidding me? They could have, all of a sudden she has that magic power that she never had before.
Or, that's how they're going to introduce this particular thing that she has.
Right.
And I'm like, I mean...
That just seemed like a quick little throwaway when you could have done something really cool with it. Yeah. I think it's worth the watch just for the after credit scene alone.
Yeah.
That was...
Stay tuned. DC's not known as well for their post-credit scenes.
It was like mid-credit. Yeah. But I was like... That was worth it right there for me. I was like, that was a cool thing. Cool. I just keep saying cool. Yeah. What else have we? I know a couple other things, but I'm trying not to go.
Here's. I have a problem with silence. So when I'm working and things like that, I like to have something on in the background.
Okay.
Sometimes it's music. Sometimes I'll just put on a mindless show. Mm-hmm. So rip through. I will say this: HBO Max is treating me right now.
Yeah, so far they're good.
Ripped through the entirety of The Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
I can unequivocally say where it starts getting bad is like midway through season 4.
That's my problem with that show. That is a show that I should love.
By all accounts, me too.
I should love
And the first
that
4.5 seasons, I did.
And I think it was a thing when it went into syndication pretty early on.
Well, they
and
did
I kept
12 seasons.
Well, no, but every time I caught it, it was like the same 3 episodes.
Right.
And so I kind of weirdly got burnt out on it.
On those.
Before actually because I would sit there and do it and be like, I should love this show. This should be something I should be totally into.
I'd watched a few episodes like you on syndication and appreciated the concept.
Right.
More than anything, you know? And so, but hadn't ever like dove into the storyline. I tried to bootleg it early on.
Can't do that.
I know it's real hard.
Stop.
I don't.
Okay.
I paid.
Listen. Can't do that.
Can't.
I was like, can't do that.
Can't bootleg shows anymore.
Can't bootleg.
But the service that I was using, it wasn't reliable. It was giving me problems, so I just gave up.
Right.
And so I'd seen several episodes, but it is one of those shows that, and from binge watching it front to back, it just repeats itself far too often.
And I think
there's only so many. There's only so many nerd centric and physics related gags that they can pull.
And I think that's what I was going to say. It was either the same 3 episodes that I saw over and over and over again,
or they tell the same jokes in every episode.
Or it was just the same exact storyline over and over and over again, and it just
Penny's a ditz.
Right.
Leonard's insecure.
Sheldon's weird.
Sheldon's aloof and
right. I do want to
doesn't understand social cues.
Yeah, my wife brought up the fact. She goes, "What do you think if that show was still going on right now? How great would it be to see Sheldon in quarantine, in the coronavirus?
Right.
Like, it would make for some pretty good.
They would have to change
storyline.
The storyline. Yeah. You know, the quarantine for them would be. You got to tighten your screw there.
No, you're good.
Just letting you know.
Thanks.
It's
been a while. Hey, there we go. I'm slouching. Yeah,
and what it did was it made me not move on to its spin-off show.
I wish
I couldn't care less about it.
Yeah, I wish they wouldn't have done that because to me, it just made less the other characters.
Right. There's some great
movies. I don't want to see Big Bang Theory Muppet Babies or whatever. I don't want to see them.
I don't want to see a spin-off of... I don't want to see what Leonard and Penny get up to after...
Right. Well, it's kind of like taking Friends and going, hey, we're going to look at young Rachel.
Right. Well, they tried...
Did they?
To do...
Well, they did the Joey thing,
Joey thing.
But it wasn't all of them. And so that was just...
And
you took the weirdest
to even
character.
Be tolerable. Yeah. This show requires the ensemble.
Yeah. But speaking of Big Bang Theory, I'm segueing for just a second because you're 4 episodes into this season or whatever. But speaking of Big Bang Theory, the actress that plays Sheldon's sister is Daniel LaRusso's wife.
Oh, yeah.
It was just one of those things I found out the other day. Listen, the age difference is something that I can't unlearn.
Right.
And I thought she was older than she is. I might be older than her.
Maybe.
And so it's just
Daniel LaRusso is like definitely older than we are.
Yeah. 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 I think he could be our dad.
No, not quite.
No, he could.
Is he really?
He's like 59.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
58?
I guess so.
Yeah. Like, listen,
my dad is older than that, but...
Well, yeah. So is mine, but I'm just saying, like...
But mathematically
speaking, yes, he could. But, yeah, that show's awesome. I'm being careful because I'm done.
I'm not quite done. I'm halfway through the newest season.
I almost said season 4, and I'm like, nope, it's season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's just great. It's nice that the show knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And it plays to it.
Oh, it's
but doesn't
corny.
oversell it.
It's corny in all the right ways.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit it too hard.
Absolutely.
I mean, this one you've already got to the point, like, he happens to go to Japan.
Oh, we haven't seen that happen.
Right. But it, like, I like the way that it's written of why he has to go there.
Right.
So it's not so just like, hey, I'm going to leave town for
a couple weeks and go to Japan.
Right. Like, and so, but then he kind of does that going to Okinawa.
Yeah.
When he's just like, hey, I'm here. And I might as well go on vacation.
Right.
My whole life is falling apart. But
the right thing to do for me right now is go on a trip.
Yeah, just listen. Just talking about that, I realized something the other day because I went down a weird rabbit hole from my youth.
Okay.
I started watching. It was a home improvement marathon.
Oh, okay.
Right, and you start watching it. And
Can we?
I forgot how.
I'm going to time out your timeout. Remember when you had to wait around for a marathon?
Yeah, but it wasn't like a marathon. It was just a whole bunch of episodes. They've been playing on TV, and I was like, home improvement, and that's just something you can leave on. Kids
again. It's
funny.
just like it's background noise,
right?
It's
but then you go,
noise.
oh my gosh, I forgot how good this show was, and it wasn't in any kind of particular order. But I go. So my question that I'm proposing to you that I thought
got
of
canceled.
What's that?
It bums me out that Tim Allen is essentially canceled.
Yeah, he is, but isn't.
Yeah,
I think he's just shunned.
Yeah,
but,
I guess it's more shunned than cancel.
Did I ask myself, and you can ask yourself the same thing? Did I learn how to be a good husband, good father, by learning what not to do from Tim the Toolman Taylor?
I will take that a step further.
But I was like,
I'll take it a step
but
further.
he did all the wrong thing. Like, you're going, oh my gosh, you shouldn't, like, your wife's sick, you shouldn't have a Super Bowl party.
Right.
Like, those episodes, you're like, oh man, you can't, and he still tries to do it, and it just gradually gets worse, and then you learn your lesson at the end, like.
I think all of us, and this can probably be said from the previous generation.
Many shows.
Yeah, we're all kind of a combination of our own fathers.
Right.
Tim Taylor. Right. Danny Tanner.
Some Al Bundy.
A little bit of Al Bundy.
A little bit. Like a dash.
Yeah.
Like
some days.
Like a little sprinkle of Al Bundy.
Maybe when work isn't going exactly the way you want it to go,
right.
and there's a little
dash. Well, it's kind of like
of Al Bundy, just those TV dads that were not Bill Cosby.
I was going to say not the Cosby Show, not Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, not those two.
I saw a thing that of those two shows and Married with Children, like those three dads put together, and they go, "Who would have thought that Al Bundy would have been the best dad of all three of them?"
Well, it's like, I grew up, became an adult, and realized that Danny Tanner is a pretty dirty comic.
Oh, in real life, yes.
In real life,
Bob Saget is
like I got like the first hint I got of it was
and not funny.
No, just dirty, just intentionally dirty.
Yeah.
I got my first hint of it when he did a couple of guest spots on Entourage way back, early 2000s.
And he came out swinging.
And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then, you go down the rabbit hole and you're like, oh no, that wasn't just him playing a part in Entourage. The person he was in Entourage was him.
Right.
The America's Funniest Home Videos and Danny Tanner, that was the best. That was the act.
That was the best
and one of the
job.
greatest acts of all time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's one of those things from childhood and stuff like that that you just
Carl Winslow. We all have a little Carl Winslow in us.
Yeah. I lost what I was gonna say. Anyways. No, but it was something that I was thinking of watching Home Improvement and just going, how much did I learn of what not to do?
Right.
I was like, okay, like lessons learned.
Sometimes you don't need to supercharge the garbage disposal.
Right. Sometimes you just need to leave well enough alone and know, like, be sensitive to other people's like, oh, that show would not be allowed now.
Really, any of those shows really
culture,
wouldn't be allowed now.
Yeah. Today's
and
culture,
society's worse off for it.
Yeah. Get back to it. Anyways,
so
sorry, segueing from my.
I think there's enough time has passed, and because of the way that they release it, I think we can talk in its entirety about season 2 of The Mandalorian.
I was like, if you
before we get into that,
you want to
I want to
wind it up.
I want to reach back to when you were talking. It was just an idea that it just kind of popped in my head, and maybe it's already been talked about. Who knows? But that show has a variety of guest directors and writers.
Yes.
Obviously, the great and powerful His Holiness Jon Favreau is at the helm of this particular starship.
Listen, I think Stan Lee passed and the throne was empty. And I think now, Jon Favreau has... I'm making a bold statement here by saying that because Jon Favreau's not creating the universe that... No. But Jon Favreau stepped in and is doing things with multiple...
Well, it was like that. It was that fake headline that we were sending back.
We still need to post that one, by the way.
And
I've seen a couple of it.
Director Jon Favreau was hospitalized yesterday with severe back injuries, probably caused by carrying the entire Star Wars universe on his back.
But you can give him kudos for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Absolutely. Without Favreau's Iron Man,
that started.
We don't have this MCU.
Yeah. Then you go, okay, Elf, which is still like he has created so many things and opened so many doors that it's just
right.
But yeah, what they've done with Star Wars,
but wouldn't it be interesting? To see Kevin Smith
100%
step in as a guest director just for an episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Have him step in. I think that would be super cool.
They've done it with many and people who aren't even typically behind the camera.
I heard
lost
him
a ton of weight, so he could even step in as a stormtrooper in an episode or just somebody in character.
He's been the voice of one.
Yeah,
but that was my real geekiness. But I just saw like a real Clerks Mandalorian episode where it's just like going into
it's all black and white and just.
I'm like, that would be.
It takes place exclusively at
a galactic convenience store,
or even a tavern or cantina.
Right.
Just
it would be very dialogue centric. Yes,
except for one of the characters, he'd only have a few lines right at the end.
Well, and Jason Mewes would probably be a guest. So, anyways, going off.
But that could be a lot. I mean, he's a big fan,
right?
I think that could be.
It could be huge,
really amazing.
Yeah,
if, going into season 3.
Yeah.
And going into maybe it isn't The Mandalorian. Maybe he's better suited as a guest director for an episode of the Book of Boba Fett.
I know they came out. Listen, the season ended, and they surprised us with yet another spinoff, which we had heard rumors of for quite some time.
The spinoff didn't catch me.
You didn't catch it?
Oh no, I caught the spinoff. Didn't catch me off guard in the slightest.
Yeah, like I was like,
as soon as we saw Boba's armor in episode 1 of season 2, I was like, okay, they're queuing it up. We've heard the rumors. They're queuing it up. They're gonna tee it off. Here
they're gonna do something. But yeah, Boba Fett's too much of a character to just let go off.
He's a character that everyone loves and needed more explaining. He needed more exploration.
In the movies, he has a total of 7 minutes.
Yeah. He's only on screen for 7 minutes out of...
And became a fan favorite.
Yeah.
And he went out like a busta. You thought I was going to say something else, but I didn't. Catching off guard on that one. But it was...
The moments at the end of season 2.
Which I was going to say, and getting to that in just a minute, because we've talked, the Skywalker saga was supposed to be over.
So I have an answer for that. I'm going to speak on behalf of the studios in just a moment. But go ahead.
Well, and my thing is, I think we talked about this as well. I don't think you can just be done with it.
You can't do that.
because that's what the
It
world
is Star Wars.
right. That they started and like
Yeah.
so it's still very much involved
Mm-hmm.
with it. So that's my 2 cents of like you can't just be done.
Right.
They were doing okay, like, but it was still revolved around the Empire and was still.
And what else do you have? I mean, sure, you can do. Maybe they could do a movie series on like the ancient Sith, but it's still going to. They're going to have to make sure that it ties into canon for what happens later.
Right.
They could do something in a different part of the galaxy, or they create a different galaxy. You know, but
Full ties. Yeah.
They said that they weren't going to add on to the Skywalker saga. This isn't adding anything on. This is just filling in gaps. So that's how they're getting away with
yes. And
with this.
now we can do the whole spoiler thing because I want to know how quickly you knew.
Okay. So it was very similar to
There's
you.
a big battle on an Empire ship.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and they're kind of getting outnumbered a little bit.
The gang's in trouble again.
Yeah, the Scooby Gang.
So it was very similar to yours. When we go single X-wing, and I'm like, tell me more.
Yeah, one X-wing shows up, and that's
just one.
That was when I was like, I had hopes. I was like,
I was pretty sure.
And then I was like, it's going to be like that guy that keeps on showing up. That single rebel fighter that shows up and I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like
then cloaked and hooded.
Yeah.
And I go, oh dang.
Yep.
And then green lightsaber. I'm like, oh dang.
Yep.
And then you don't even see his face.
No.
But you see his hands.
Yeah. You
see the one glove. And I'm like, those crazy sons of just did it.
They did it. And I go, I need this to not look horrible.
I was like, and then that's what Kate was like, don't let this suck, don't let this suck, don't let this suck, don't let this suck.
Like, don't do it. And so it was revealed to be the Jedi Master himself, Luke Skywalker.
Right.
Came in and did some damage in
some house cleaning.
With all the shows we've been watching.
Right.
Are we noticing the hallway fight scene themes? From Cobra Kai.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
To Daredevil to there's
where did a lot of the fights happen in the original trilogy?
Right.
Hallways.
Right. But it's just like stay out of hallways, kids.
Yeah.
But it was very reminiscent or similar to Darth Vader's scene from Rogue One.
Right.
I've seen a lot of side by sides of them showing up and doing.
And they did such great things though with this season. I mean, Bill Burr's character,
fantastic.
I mean, the development that they gave us inside of one episode was better than the development they gave for Rey.
Oh yeah,
in 3 movies.
Yeah,
in almost 9 hours of film.
Yeah,
we were able to learn more and feel more for this ex-stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Than we were for Rey in 3 whole movies.
Who was the hero of the movies.
Have we talked about whether Leia and Rey are now officially Disney princesses or not?
I'm saying they are. Listen, it's kind of like cartoon like Sophia the First.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so married into it.
Right.
Are you then so she was a princess. So yeah, would they be?
Well, I mean,
they're going to be some kind of a relative, like
she's got a royal bloodline,
royal name. Does she? Does she have a royal bloodline?
Well, it's not on the right side of the.
I'm calling it right now. By the way, talking about Mandalorian.
Okay.
Because in this season they addressed cloning.
Right.
I think they're going to be totally smart. I'm calling it now that the Senator Palpatine that we saw in the last movie was a clone.
Oh, yeah.
I think I think that they're going to do little nods to it and I think Snoke was a bad batch.
Yeah.
Version of the Emperor. That's what I'm just. That's my. In order to save the new trilogy,
They're gonna.
I think that
Well,
they
and
need
that's
to
what
do
that's
these
what these
things.
shows. That's what the Book of Boba Fett. That's what Ahsoka Tana's new spinoff show.
Yeah.
We didn't even get into that. I
know.
mean, we talked a little bit about it before we took our break
Right.
for the year, but her new show,
Yeah.
the next seasons of The Mandalorian, that's
Which is
what-
not going to be the Book of Boba Fett. They've
No,
already
no.
decided-
They're
but
two
there
separate
was rumors.
shows.
No,
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
rumors going around that was going to be season 3.
Yeah.
Was the Book of Boba Fett, and it's going to. I don't know where it's going to turn because Luke Skywalker shows up and takes Grogu,
the baby. He takes Grogu.
or the child, or Baby Yoda, whatever you want to,
Right.
whatever you know.
And
the
if you
baby is.
didn't well up a little bit, I have to
Oh,
question your humanity.
Yeah, it's
For-
super much. My son and I were like, all right, we need a minute.
Yeah.
Both, and it hit us hard in the feels because it's like, hey, this, my son was like, what's gonna happen next season and I go, listen, I don't, because
remember,
now it's the
this
thing
show
of-
is about the Mandalorian.
right, and
It is
if
not
Grogu
about
went
the
off
child.
to Luke Skywalker's school for gifted children, that didn't end well.
Yeah, he's not got a great track record.
That school didn't
Did
make
this
it.
child train with Kylo Ren?
Ben Solo himself,
Did that overlap? It would almost have to.
right? So I think
is he bringing him to and who we don't see mentioned at all in the sequel trilogy is the even existence of this Yoda-like Jedi Master.
right, which you and I both know that it's. Listen, they didn't have this all mapped out when they came up with the
No.
original, so you have to kind of weave in with your
Some things.
But I think
So-
what they're needing to be really careful now, and what I'm scared of, is we're already messing with timelines.
A little bit. We're
already-
pushing the boundaries on
because
some timelines.
When I hit that most was the new Obi-Wan show,
Right.
and Hayden Christensen coming back as Darth Vader, and that they've already announced that they will have their rematch. They will have another.
We've seen their rematch.
Right, but now if you watch the scene of when Obi-Wan meets Darth Vader, and
Right.
you think that's the first time that they've met since
Exactly.
the lava pit.
Right. And that's why
I
I'm
get
saying
really
they've
geeky
had
and
their
go since Mustafar.
Yeah, they already had their rematch.
Right. So now he goes,
And that
when we
rematch
last
didn't
met,
end well for Mr. Obi-Wan.
when we last met, you were the master and I was the student, whatever. Like, all these things line up with that last
Well,
fight.
if
And they
you
haven't seen
remember-
each other in quite some time.
Yeah.
But now we're going to go, we got to have a rematch. Because that's still, if I was to rank the lightsaber battles, I still say that takes number 1. For me.
Well, and a lot of it is because of its importance to the storyline.
The importance of the story, both of them as athletes, that they were able to go as fast as they were going.
Mm-hmm.
And
one of my favorite would be, I don't know if it's my actual favorite, but it's the first battle with Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
When we see on screen the first time that double-sided lightsaber. And it's like, oh, snap.
The Duel of the Fates. Yes.
So that one's one of my favorites.
No, that one's really, really good. And it kind of played out that it's like, hey, Sith are pretty badass.
Yeah, they're
They actually kill some people.
much like the Wu-Tang Clan. They ain't nothing to...
I was letting you paused. You did like a longer pause on that one. Like, I'm like, listen, I don't know what about me says I know a whole bunch about the Wu-Tang Clan.
I just kind of assume that that's a universally known lyric.
Once you said it, I was like, okay, I didn't know where you were going with it. But, they tore it up with The Mandalorian, and I'm
super
happy with it.
It's saving a fandom.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
And I was going to say this about Cobra Kai before, but saying it about this. 2 things. It's like, this is something that I didn't know that I needed in my life.
Right.
And it's like when the new season of Cobra Kai got released, I was like, I set the bar really low. Because I was like, I just don't want it to be bad. like whatever.
Right.
And you just kind of like, I'm afraid it's gonna be bad. It's the third season or it's the second season. Like I need it to not. And they just hit it out of the park, and you're like, that might be. If I was to rank the seasons, that one might be.
So obviously, again, I haven't finished the third season yet, but
I'm being very careful.
No, and I appreciate that, but it brings me to a point that I'd like to make about American television. Okay, so we we were talking about the Big Bang Theory earlier. 12 seasons wasn't anything that great after 4.5.
Right.
In the States, we have a tendency to just beat that dead horse.
100%.
As where, specifically my wife, she's gotten into a lot of British television shows.
Okay. That last for a season or two.
Call the Midwife. Even what was the big one? They made a movie. Downton Abbey.
Oh yeah.
Where, and that was a long running that was a super long running show at like 4 seasons.
Yeah,
5 seasons.
Well, it's like I want them to call it.
Don't
overstay your welcome.
Just if it needs to end, then end it.
Yeah.
Don't just wrap it up.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Yeah. Mandalorian, I think, could last longer than Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai, I'm like, you got 1 or 2 more seasons.
Yeah, they've got maybe 4 seasons.
Yeah.
In them.
Yeah.
Just with that premise, that's all
you
it's
can
really
only
good for.
Go so far.
That's why I'd always like. It's weird that I say that, as an American TV audience, they let these shows go for too long, but yet I still get a little annoyed when I see them try and turn an old movie into a show, knowing that it can only last for so long.
Right. Well, I was talking about.
I think it's mostly because I think they're going to do the same thing. They're going to try and drag Lethal Weapon into a 8-season story arc.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about they announced that there's going to be a new movie with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, but
no, that I'm actually fine with.
Yeah, but it's changing something or doing Charlie's Angels or doing
well, that was a show that got turned into a movie and it got turned into another movie.
No, but it was. Yeah, I forget what I was going to say, but going off that thing of knowing when to call it. But my wife and I always talk about the show ER. I don't even know how long that ran. Like that ran forever.
Well, what's the other one?
It's but that's ER, why. No, it's Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
That's what I was going to. Grey's Anatomy. They needed to call it like 8 seasons ago.
And they have. They've said this is the final season.
Oh no! But they're
it's
but
like
they don't.
the it's like the Caliban Goose downtown.
Yeah.
It's always going out of business.
Right. But that's true.
It's been going out of business for 25 years.
I just remember like towards the end of when I realized, and I was younger when ER was on, and I was like, a tank drove through the ER, and I was like,
well, that's what was great about like
you're
House.
jumping the shark.
That's what was great about House. They went super obscure with the medical conditions. Good for them.
Right.
But it only ran a few seasons. I mean, it ran several, but still not that not Grey's Anatomy long.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy.
Look what happened to Scrubs when they tried to keep that.
We don't talk about that.
Dead horse alive.
That never happened.
It got so bad.
Yeah.
That's something that we can learn from our friends across the pond.
Yeah. Know when to call it.
Know when to hold them.
Know when to fold them.
Know when to walk
R.I.P.
away.
Kenny.
And
Kenny
know
Rogers.
when to run.
So, yeah.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. I'm happy about it. I was texting you last night. I was like, we're doing it, right? And you're like, that's the plan.
Like, yeah.
Well, that doesn't answer my question.
Like, let's go.
I know that was the plan, but plans change.
No.
For us.
We are. It is.
But I didn't want it to be
welcome to 2021, suckers.
Yeah. And on that note, cue the music.
Peace out. No, but for real, welcome. Happy New Year, everybody. It's got to be better than last year.
Yeah.
We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're back firing on all cylinders on all of our projects. Yep. So, if you're in the Prescott area and you want to highlight your business, holler at us.
And if you need real estate,
holler at us. because that's what we do. That's how we fund all of these things. We don't have sponsors. We don't seek out sponsors. I'm not saying we turn them down, but we really don't go after that stuff on these channels because we want it to be just something fun that's not tainted by being beholden to any sponsors or advertisers, anything like that.
Yep.
So, yeah. Have a good day, everybody. Until next time. He's Tucker.
He's the Beard.
And we're out.